What's up everybody, my name is Dwight and welcome back to GeForce Garage. Today we are building a dual system setup for 4K gaming and capture in one giant case. Sure, you can stream on a single PC now using RTX, but going dual system is going to give you that full studio experience. The point of this is to give our game capture team a single solution that holds nothing back. On the gaming side, we have a mini ITX Z370 board from MSI that's going to have an i7-8700K processor in it. For storage, we have a 500 gig M.2 NVMe drive. For our GPU, we have the GeForce RTX 2080 Ti. We need a big, powerful card to push all those pixels in 4K. And we have a 32 gig kit of Trident RGB RAM that we're actually going to be splitting between the two systems, so both will have 16 gigs. And speaking of the capture PC, we have an ASUS Z370 Prime board with an 8600K CPU that'll be going in it. And we needed the ATX board for the PCI lanes because we have an Elgato 4K 60 Pro capture card and a GeForce RTX 2060 GPU because we still need a decent GPU to capture 4K properly. On the storage side of things, we have a 1TB Seagate FireCuda M.2 drive and 3 Seagate BarraCudaa 3TB drives to store all of that 4K goodness. Both systems are going to be cooled by Corsair AIOs and powered by the Revolt X dual system power supply. And all of this is going to be going inside of the Phanteks Enthoo Elite Pro case, which I understand is a little bit overkill for this whole thing, but we had it from a previous project that didn't work out, so why not give it a new life with this one? So that was a lot of parts, and it's going to take me some time to build, so let's get started. Okay, so it's all done and built. Working inside of this case is a little bit of a double-edged sword. On the good side, we have a ton of room for cable management and a ton of strap-down points. But we are dealing with two sets of cables inside of this whole build. We have two 24 pins, two 8 pins, two PCI cables, and all of the other cables that go into a motherboard, and it all kind of adds up at the bottom. But I think I did a pretty good job on the cable management considering how many cables there really are. To eliminate that issue, this would have been a great time to actually go with custom cables. I also would have liked to have gone full custom water cooling in this case, but our game capture team needs it to be kind of modular because they're swapping out parts all the time, and I wanted to make their life a little bit easier. Other things that I really liked about this case is that they give you a lot of accessories, so if you wanted to pop open the side for more ventilation, you can. They give you more magnetic fan filters, or if you wanted to close them up, they also give you the panels to just cover all of those vents. Another thing that I really liked about the case was the front of it actually gives you a ton of I/O to access both of the PCs. So you have USB ports for system 1 and 2, the audio jacks for both systems. They even have an HDMI pass-through that's built into the case. So if you wanted to access your ITX board, you don't have to reach around the back of the case to plug in an HDMI cable. You can just do it right in the front. There's even a really nice LED wheel there, so you can swap colors through the case and even click in to change the mode of it. And the only problem that I really came across was something that was my fault. I grabbed a motherboard from an earlier project and I think I swapped out the I/O shields because the one that was inside this box absolutely did not match up to this one, so I don't know where that one is. Anyways, I'm going to install Windows on both of these PCs and we'll see how well they perform. So let's start off with a couple of benchmarks. In 3D Mark TimeSpy, we scored a solid 12,515, putting us pretty darn close to doubling their score of their 4K gaming PC benchmark. And even going over to their 4K benchmark, TimeSpy Extreme, we still get put pretty far ahead at 5,882. And to top it off, in their ray tracing benchmark, Port Royal, we scored an 8,240. The first game that we're checking out is Enthoo, and at 4K with our settings mostly on high detail and DLSS turned on, we were able to keep at a pretty steady 60 frames per second, only really dipping when there was a screen full of effects. Going over to Battlefield 5 at 4K Ultra with ray tracing and DLSS turned on, we stayed at above mid-70s in firefights and around 85 frames per second when cruising around. In Anno 1800, a fairly CPU-heavy game at 4K on Ultra, I was able to stay around 75 to 80 FPS even in the bigger cities. And lastly, over in Sekiro at 4K on Ultra settings, just like all the other games, it was locked at a solid 60 frames per second, never once dipping. And on the streaming side of things, we can capture our game running at 4K with no issues, or drop frames, while downscaling it to 1080p to send it off to whatever streaming platform you choose. Well, it's both a monster in size and in performance. I'm very happy to not be the one that has to move this case around anymore. If you guys like this video, leave a comment down below, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you for the next one.